Good morning, good morning, good morning. Clear off the board. Make everything tidy. Grab my board rubber. Don't have one. Do the pen as well. Does this work? Of course it doesn't. Pens never work, do they? Let's clear on this. Where is one? Pen. This one work? Works well enough, doesn't it? Tuesday. Hello, good morning, everyone. Assalamu one. Hey, Isa, 3J. Isa from 3J? Wowzers. Good to see you online. I was just calling you, Isa, but no one picked up the telephone. Isa, can you try and be on Google Classroom, please, at 10:30? Google Classroom, 10:30, Isa. 1 minute and something. Good to see you online, Isa. Harris, good morning. Omar, good morning. Rita, good morning. Oh, that's Isa. Good morning. Ayab, good morning. Fahad, good morning. Suhan, good morning. I will try. Good. That's all I want. Try your hardest. Good to see you all. I made a broomstick. Well done, Dawud Islam. That must have been very, very tricky. Alicina, hi. Saren, hello. Who's that? Tasha, good morning, Tasha. Imran, good morning. Lovely to see you all. Miss Duncan, of all people. Good morning, Miss Duncan. Miss Duncan, are you in school? Or are you at home? Good morning, Mahayman. Did you cut your hair? Mine. Yes, I did. Yes. Safia, good morning. Miss Duncan, no. Okay. Miss Duncan, is there any chance? I know it was maybe my Friday, but could you do the Friday thing for Miss Patterson or not? I'll call you about it. Tasha, good morning. I'm not bald. He's bald. This guy's bald, but I'm not quite. Miss Duncan, thank you so much. Good. I need to go back to Derbyshire. Lovely. Yeah, I'm not quite bald. I mean, I'm balding here. Can you see the hair is sort of going? Eventually, I'm going to be bald. But there is still some hair up here. There is still some. Hello, Fahad. Saren, that looks awfully close to spamming. You know what I'm like when it comes to spam. I'm half bald, are you? Fahad, hi, sir. Good morning. Morning, Mrs. D. Good morning, year 3. Oh, Miss Chote's online as well. Good morning, Miss Chote. It's exciting. Look at all this. Oh, 30 kids. We'll have to... Sarim Chowdhury. Is that a skeleton next to you? No. Yeah, it is a skeleton. Hi, everybody. My name is Fred. Hello, my name is Fred. My name's Fred the skeleton. There you go. That's me done. Right, I'm off. I had another head somewhere. Here we go. Look, there we go. Got another. Here's another head. There you go. I could have a whole collection of different sort of heads, body parts, plants. It's like I'm in the forest. Well, hi, Fred. Hello, Ayam. How are you? Ayam. Hi, Attic. Good to see you. Yep, Fred's here. Omar. Hi. Oh, that's not his. Oh. Whoops. His head's fallen off. He's got no brain either. I feel like I'm starting to do like a Saturday morning children's TV show here, but there we go. He's got half a brain. Let's pop that in. There, we're sorted. No, I'm in 3C. Oh, 3C. 3C can't even win Oxford Reading Buddy. It's embarrassing. Mr. Jordan, you need to tidy your class. Thank you, Miss Duncan. So we are going to school on March. On March, like this, on a march. Are we marching all to school? Do you mean in March? I saw it on the news. Yeah, I'm going to go over all of that. We'll have a look at all of the stages of re-lockdown. Hey, Skeleton, let Mr. Jordan what? His name's Fred, anyway. I'm Fred. Can't you see? Good morning. Oh, no. Mr. Jordan, you had you. Yeah, I've seen all these posts, haven't I? Good. Good. Lovely to see everybody in here. So early as well in the morning, 9:45. Who would have imagined such a time could possibly exist as early as 9:45? Wowzers. I don't really know fully. You nearly made his head fall off again. I know. I'm going to calm down, Mahayman. I'm getting a little bit too excited. Probably the brain have creative skill and memory. Now, I wonder, it's on the left side of his brain, which means it controls the right side of his body. This is the less creative side. This is more the sort of analytical side. If it was over here on this side of the brain, that would be his creative, arty side. About to say something rude there. Zaini, you still here? I hope he is. Ishmael Abdullahi, don't forget 10:30, please. Show us your collection of bodies. Oh dear. Here's the other internal parts of this body. Put that over here in that corner. There you go. I'll fill up all of this space with junk for you. Right. What have we got today? My head's getting cut off. Tell you what, I'm going to move this back a little bit here. Give us a little bit of space through all of this stuff. It's Tuesday, which of course means it's Tuesday, the day after Monday and the day before Wednesday. You're not late, don't worry. I'm just hanging on for a few more people to come on. I did start it a little bit earlier, obviously, because it has to end now at 10:30. How sad that is, because we do these little small groups. Our small group yesterday, we went really well. I know all the classes did little group lessons yesterday. It was really nice to see lots of people. I've got a different selection of people today. Oh, look, I found another head of an animal. Look at that. Found even more. They're all over the place. Genuinely do have a collection of bodies through here. They're just popping up all over. Anyone can tell me what sort of animal do you think this is? Looking at animals yesterday. What sort of animal do you think this might be? What do you reckon? What animal might we be dealing with here? Hello? Yeah, well, yeah, I forgot 3J, of course, you know. I was kind of hoping someone not in 3J might make a guess. It is a cow. If we look at these teeth, these are teeth for grinding, for breaking down grass and vegetables. It's not designed for killing, not a fossil actually, it's just a skull, just a bones. Fossil would have turned into stone over many thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So it's not quite that. Yeah, it's definitely a herbivore because it's got these large grinding teeth, a bit like the teeth at the back of your mouth. They are the molars. Hey, Mish. Hi. Got a special guest here as well. How lucky for all of you guys. Numbers are just slowly rising.
Don't know if you're lucky. Hi. Gosh, this is weird talking to a strange screen.
Yeah, the little chat down here on this side, although they'll see it on the other side on their board. You look like you're opposite, but they can see you the right way around.
Oh, they can?
They can, yeah.
How is everybody? Hi, Lucina. I can see the chat coming in.
Takes a little bit.
Oh, hi, Miss Chotes. It is a nice day. Who did some exercise yesterday? Did anybody go around and do some exercise yesterday? Quite nice yesterday.
Everybody can't be.
I think it's because nobody's seen me for ages. Our only reason, children, I've come in today is because some of the live lessons next week I'm going to be doing because Mr. Jordan is going to be teaching in school. So I've come today to see how he actually does the live lesson. So hopefully I won't bore you next week and you'll want to actually log on and join in. Okay? I'll leave you to it, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I was really enjoying you killing for time there.
No, I didn't like.
I don't know where we got to. We were talking about the cow's body, weren't we? But I don't know. I don't think that's the main gist of today. Well, as normal, we're going to start with some news. So we're going to go and have a look at what's been going on in the news. I'm imagining people won't tune in. It does work without the wire.
Yeah, I was checking how you got it hooked up.
I just found it easier with a wire because the Wi-Fi connection wasn't quite as good and we were getting all glitchy last week.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to come in school to do it, I will tidy this room up, but it's probably easy doing it at home.
Kids and stuff, so it's easy doing it at home.
Yes, we're going to do a little bit of news. We'll have a look. I haven't got any work printed out today, so we'll go and have a little look at that, and then we'll start looking at whatever we're looking at today. Of course, a lot of you have mentioned already the big piece of news, which is the change in the lockdown rules, isn't it? That we are probably coming out of lockdown. So I thought we'd start by just having a little look at how we've been. Oh, I'm going to move you over here. How we've been coming out of lockdown and what the different stages are. So the government has set out a new roadmap for coming out of lockdown. So let's have a little look at what that's going to look like then, shall we? Stage 1 starts on the 8th of March. So the first moment of us slowly coming out of lockdown begins on the 8th of March. In the 8th of March, all schools will reopen. Now, be very careful what that actually means. It doesn't mean you're necessarily all going to be in school on the 8th of March, okay? So I don't want you definitely thinking 8th of March is the day you come back. What it means is the 8th of March is the day we start coming back to school. So a lot of people are saying it's not a good idea for everyone to come back all at once. And the school hasn't made a formal decision yet. So we may start coming back on the 8th of March, but it will be during that week that we slowly start coming back in. The school might say, well, we're going to get year 6 and year 2 in first, and then we'll have year 5 and 4, and then we'll have 3 and 1. So it's up to the school, really. Yeah, you're right. Copyright infringement might be coming. I think I'm okay because there's no video or audio, so we can get away with it. The YouTube algorithm picks up on it when there's sound and movement, whereas when it's still, it seems to be okay. So start opening on the 8th of March. So yeah, it might not be the very day of the 8th of March. So don't be surprised if you find out you're not coming in until like the 12th or the 13th or something, but that's when we're going to start. What else have we got? University students are going to go back. Face coverings for secondary school students and also for parents and staff in primary schools. So that's a big new thing, making sure that staff, parents, adults are wearing face masks in schools. But of course, that's really important. I mean, I'm not wearing one right now, am I? But it might be a nice big steps. What's happening there? We can't do at the same time. That's why, yeah, that's the point. If they're a bit worried at the moment, if everyone comes back at the same time, then we're just going to go back to the same problem as before. So it may not all happen at the same time. It might slowly happen. What else have we got? Childcare can start. 2 people from different households can meet outside for recreations, okay? So for the first time, you can meet friends, well, one other friend from one other household, and you can meet them in the park, yeah, to play, to go and do things like that. You're not too late, don't worry. So that's a big change. And 1 nominated person can visit care homes. So if you've got elderly people in a care home, then you can start visiting them. Weddings can be attended by 6 people. Okay, so that's the 8th of March. Then we've got another thing happening near the end of March, the 29th. By the 29th, okay, people will be allowed to meet outside. So 6 different people. So basically you can start meeting all your friends outside again at the end of March. People should stay local because the stay-at-home rule will end. So what's going to happen is you can start going out and shopping in your local area. But they're saying, you know, don't need to go all the way to London or something like that, but just stay in your local area. Sports places will open again. Golf courses, tennis courses, possibly even swimming pools will open at the end of March, which is good. So sport can start again. That means football can start in properly. Parents and children groups can return, but are capped at 15 and must be outdoors. So we don't need to worry about that. That's not something that we do particularly. So what's going to happen next? This is stage 2, and it happens in April. So in April, all shops will be able to open again. So finally, we can go clothes shopping. We can go back to restaurants. It says restaurants and pub gardens will be allowed to serve customers sitting outdoors, including alcohol. So outdoors eating will be back in April. So you can go to a restaurant as long as you're outdoors. And I don't think it affects you, but obviously adults can go and have a little drink outside as well. Gyms will open in April. Hairdressers and beauty salons will open. What else? Holidays away from home begin. So in April, now this has happened. Loads of people have been booking holidays already. The second the government made that announcement, booking sites were going through the roof. Loads of people were booking. So that was happening. What else we got? Children allowed to go to play activities, zoos, theme parks, drive-in cinemas, libraries will open. Weddings can be attended by 15 people. So that's April. Then we keep going on. We get to May. And in May, well, then people can properly meet outside. Pubs and restaurants will be open to people inside. So by May, we can go to a restaurant and eat inside. My gosh. What else? Yeah, cinemas will open, theaters will open, museums will open, children's play areas, hotels, hostels, B&Bs can reopen, international leisure travel will resume. All of these things that will start happening again, which is pretty exciting. And then when do we get? When we get to June, that is when it's all over. Okay, so by June, they're hoping stage 4 that everything will be back to normal. Now, June is a long time away, isn't it? We're in February, so we've got March, April, May, June. 4 months to wait until everything gets back to normal. But they're staging it each month. There'll be a little bit more, And of course, it starts with the schools opening in March. Let's have a little look. What are some people saying? When can I go back to Bangladesh? It's a really good question. It'll probably take a little bit of a while before you can go to places. What's going to happen is if you get your vaccine, you'll get a special you might get a special passport to say I've been vaccinated, and then countries will let you back in. So I don't think Bangladesh will want people from Britain. It's not Britain stopping you. Britain is not stopping people from going places, but other countries don't want us coming in. I know this because I've been trying to go to Vietnam for a long time, but they won't let us go in unless we've had our vaccines. So once you get your vaccines, other countries will start letting you go in. What else people saying? May's the day. That's a good May Day. Absolutely. Shops will open in June. Yeah, February 10th was your birthday. Happy birthday, February 10th. Congratulations. I'm distracted all about it. Okay. Hello, Mr. Jordan. How are you? Yeah, I'm good. Okay, I was wondering if you had any questions about that. So that's really good stuff, isn't it? Brilliant. Okay, lovely that all of these birthdays are happening. What's next in the news? Well, we have got, not that one. We're going to look at, oh yeah, I thought I'd pop on the most recent, where is it gone? Sorry. Close this down, pop this down. Here we go. Should be popping. My computer's just going a bit slow. Let's get my graph. I did have the graph earlier. My graph's gone. Forget it. Don't worry. Let's just go back and look at that tiny little graph that I had earlier then. And you can see on that graph that the cases, although they went really high, this is when these pop-ups, not now. Should be paying for the Guardian, I guess. It went really high up here, but you can see it has gone down and down and down. And we're now back at that level. The government's starting to think we're at a more acceptable level. That means still 10,000 people are getting it a day. The daily deaths have gone way down. There was about 1,000 people a day dying. We're now down to 178. So we've dropped by 52 versus last week. People in hospital have gone down by almost 5,000 in a week. So the cases are dropping. Why are the cases dropping? Well, 1, lockdown. 2, more importantly, vaccines have been going out like crazy. Millions of people have now been vaccinated. So we are finally fighting the infection. Okay, what have I got? I saw this because I couldn't believe it, right? We've been speaking so much about climate change, haven't we? And the importance of fighting climate change, the importance of polluting less, reducing our carbon dioxide emissions, making sure that we protect the planet. And look what's happened. UK councils have been investing money in oil and coal. 10 billion worth of investment went into oil and gas made via UK pension funds. Now, what's a pension fund? The government or the councils control a little bit of money which you invest in when you are working, so that when you stop working, you can get that money back. It means that when you stop working, you can still get paid some money. That's what a pension is. The government gives you a bit, but also your workplace gives you a bit. Now, it turns out that some councils have been using that money that we invest for when we're old and putting it into like oil companies and coal companies and things that pollute the world. So with our hard-earned pensions, we are actually increasing the amount of pollution in the world by investing in these companies. I'm not sure if that fully makes sense, but that's a little bit of news. And the exciting news, the thing that I am very excited about, and the biggest news I think of the moment, really, apart from coronavirus, NASA has landed its Perseverance probe on Mars. Very exciting. So NASA has landed its Perseverance probe on Mars. Sorry, a couple of questions. What's coming in? Mr. Jordan, are there going to be any more lockdowns? We don't know. We just don't know, do we? Who knows? Can't predict the future. Don't worry if you haven't finished your homework. It's absolutely fine. Yeah, so it's landed on Mars, which is absolutely amazing. And we've got a video, and I've got a copyright-free video. So hopefully, yeah, you watch the video, Mahayman. Well, we're all going to watch the video because this is so exciting. Landing on the planet Mars, all of that distance away. And then we're actually going to do a little bit of, we're going to find out a little bit about Mars, maybe. Here, I'm going to have to skip this advert first. Let's get rid of the 3, 2, 1, gone. So this is, as it is landing into Mars's atmosphere, this is the parachute that has burst out from the top of the Perseverance landing module. The parachute is a successful way of slowing it down. Okay, if you think about how a parachute works, if I have got just a heavy, solid object, it will just land, yeah, all of a sudden. But if I use a large surface area to sort of hit the air or hit the atmosphere, it kind of floats down slowly, doesn't it? Yeah, way slower than just a solid object. So a parachute spreads out, creates a large surface area and catches any air in the atmosphere and slows down. You're thinking to yourself, well, Mars doesn't have air. Well, it must have some kind of atmosphere, some kind of resistance for that parachute to actually work. And it used to have a thick atmosphere, Mars. They think it may have even had life on Mars, but they're pretty sure that it definitely had an atmosphere at one point because it had water on its surface. It has a very thin atmosphere, not like the moon. The moon has no atmosphere, so a parachute would not work on the moon because there's no air. The reason a parachute works, okay, is because air is not empty. We've said this to you before. It looks like there's nothing there, but this is full of stuff. You can feel all the stuff when you wave your hand. You feel it on your hand. If you have a fan blowing on you, you can feel the stuff hitting you, can't you? Yeah, that is all of the air particles. So if you had a rocket like this, it would go straight through the air. It pierces through the air like a pin. Imagine a pin going into your skin. If you popped a pin, it would just go straight through your skin into your hand, wouldn't it? Yeah, I poke a pin into my skin, it would just go straight in like that. But if I had a book and tried to push the book into my hand, well, it won't go into my hand. It won't go straight through. I could really hurt my hand by pushing it really hard, but it's not going to go through. It's kind of the same thing with a parachute. The thin rocket smooths straight through, but if the thin rocket had a big flat thing on the end, it would really slow it down. Okay, this is why when you think about a car or something that goes really fast, it has a kind of smooth shape, doesn't it? Yeah, the fastest. Yeah, if I had this car here, if I said this was one car, and then this was another car, right? This car is going to go faster than this car because as this car goes forward, it's going to hit a lot of air, okay? And the air is going to slowly push it back. So even if I had the exact same engine in this car, the same engine making the same power, this car will still go faster. Why? Because even though it's going forward with the same power, all of this air is getting sent around it, and it is slicing through it, okay? This is air resistance, okay? And you can see that this flat surface is going to slow the car down far more than this small surface, which the air is going to spread around. Think about if you're cutting butter, Okay, if you used a spoon, it would just push into the butter. If you use a knife, it would slice through. The thin shape makes it far more aerodynamic. Okay, so that's why they pop that parachute up, and it must be some atmosphere. That is the first thing that's going to slow this landing gear down. I'm going to quickly show you what the what the Perseverance looks like. So let's have a little look at Perseverance NASA. What does it look like? Let's pop it. Here it is. So this is the vehicle. Wow, it is quite a piece of technology, okay? But this thing can't just land on its own, can it? It needs to do something special. It can't just land like that. It will just smash into the planet. So how does Perseverance land? How does Perseverance land on Mars? There we go. Let's have a little look at this. Is from NASA. So I can show this one. And if I just skip forward, here is Mars. So the first step, of course, is the parachute. The parachute is going to slow it down because there is some atmosphere there on Mars. So that is slowing it down, but it is still coming in incredibly fast. This is a computer graphic. This is not real. I'm going to show you the real one in a second. So it is still coming down incredibly fast. So what it does, this is the Perseverance rover. It's inside this capsule, okay? There you can see the wheels. It drops it down. Uh-oh, but if it just dropped it, I'm going to pause this 1 second. If it just dropped straight down, then it would smash into the ground. So they need to slow it down. So on the side of the rover, you can see it's got these jets that are trying to push it back up. So as it is floating down, it's got jets that are pushing it back up to really, really slow it down as much as possible. So it keeps coming down, as you can see, and it's got a very clever system in it now. Inside it, it's got a very clever artificial intelligence, and it is able to look at the ground. So it looks at the ground of Mars and it thinks, where is a sensible place to land? Because Mars is not like Earth. It has these huge things all over it. These are known as craters. These craters have been made when rocks slam into it. Even though Mars has a very thin atmosphere, it's not as good an atmosphere as ours. Our atmosphere is so cool because when rocks fly through space, when they hit our atmosphere, they generally burn up into small pieces. Yeah, Dowd Ali said thrusters. He's absolutely right. On Mars, because they don't have as thick an atmosphere, those rocks often smash into the ground. The ground is knobbly, bobbly. It's full of rocks. We're actually landing in a place where we think an ocean was. And if you think at the bottom of the ocean, there are going to be boulders and rocks and all sorts of obstacles. So this incredible thing made by NASA is looking at the ground. It is planning where to go. It's thinking, right, there's a rock there. I can't land there. It's going here. People, humans are not controlling it at this point. This is all the computer doing all of the controlling. Absolutely amazing. So it is looking at the ground. It's thinking about where is a sensible place to go. And then the most amazing part, really, of it happens in a second, because this can't just land on the ground as it is. It's still going to be going in too fast, and also the blast will cause too much dust and cause problems. So it stops there, and it lowers it on a crane. Look how cool that is. Lowering it on a crane, that top part then just blasts off back into space, and it's going to go off back into space. And there you go. The lander is now on the ground, okay? And now that this lander is on the ground, it uses, well, it doesn't really use solar power that much. It actually has a little nuclear battery inside it, which lasts for a very, very long time. And there it is, and it's able to start doing its investigations. So this has happened just now. Let's go back to the other video, and let's see it in real life happening. It's gone black just for a second. Here is the real video of what we saw. So that is the actual thing. There is that capsule. It's looking at Mars. Mars is red because of the iron on it, and it's kind of like a sort of rust. There are all sorts of other reasons why it's red. Can you go now, Saren? No? Wait, what time is it? No, of course you can't. Unless you're going to the toilet. Who was the first person on the moon? That's a really good question. Well, maybe that could be a little thing that we investigate. I like that. So the blaster, I'm going to skip forward just a tiny little bit. It is now, as it lands, this is looking from the bottom of it. It's looking at the ground and it's planning its place. Landing here would be silly. That's a big cliff. There's a crater. These are not good places to land. So it needs to think to itself, where's the best place? Oh no, we've got another little hill thing here. I can't land here. This looks like it could be dangerous terrain. We've got nice flat terrain here. Again, can you see this is full of tiny little craters? Not a good place for it to land, is it? Let's skip forward a tiny little bit more. I'm going to move to about here. Now, it's seen this little crater here, and it's just moving itself out of the way. Let's skip forward again. We're going to get ourselves to this part here. Now, you can see as it's got close to the ground, the thrusters have now gone on, and that is what is making all the dust on the ground. There it is. It's dropped it. The thrusting part has put the little crane down. It's dropping Perseverance onto the ground. This part is then going to go back into space, and here is our Perseverance module, which is going to do all the science. So in a second, I think this guy is going to let go, and it's going to fly off back into space. Pachoo! Off it goes into space. And there they all are cheering because, my goodness, the money, the time that went into doing that, absolutely incredible. Now, you don't just have to be an American to do this and go into space. Britain has sent launches to space and scientific equipment up there, into Mars, in fact. We've sent one to Mars. And we have a big space agency here. If you're interested in space, this is definitely a career that you can go for. You know, so work hard in your science, work hard in your maths. That is definitely something you can do. In fact, in the future, there's going to be even more space going on. Was there ever a girl on the moon? Fantastic question. There have been girls in space, absolutely. I do not think there's ever been a girl on the moon. They're actually getting more women. They're even offering disabled people to go into space now. What the interesting thing is that not only, I don't know, I can't remember, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, people can now just pay money. So you've heard of Elon Musk. He's got a company that is sending people up into space themselves, which is pretty exciting. So yeah, I thought what you could do for your English, seeing as that Yusuf is demanding that we do some English now so much. Let's have a quick look at these questions. Mr. Jordan, people are going to be in Mars in 30 years. I absolutely think you're right. I'm sure they will. If it's not by the Americans, then it'll be by some private company. Was there any aliens? Well, we don't know yet. We're thinking there might be life on Mars, possibly. Probably not alive anymore, but there may have used to have been life on Mars. It won't be like super intelligent aliens like you see in the movies, but it could just be some other living creature. There may well be. Yeah, Neil Armstrong was the first person to land on the moon, first person to walk on the moon, followed by Buzz Aldrin, who was also in the lunar module and came down, didn't he? No, Amana, no girls on the moon yet. In space, but not on the moon. Miss Duncan's absolutely right. So why don't you, Amana, get yourself onto the moon or get yourself being the first person on Mars? I don't like space. Why not? Quite scary, isn't it? When did you have a haircut? That's not very relevant, but it was obviously recently. Russia is finding life on the moon, AM. Do you reckon? I'm not sure Russia is quite as powerful as they used to be. They used to have a really good space industry. Okay, Mars is going to be like the moon, but bigger. Yeah, do aliens exist? Probably they do exist somewhere. We've not met them yet, but it's likely, isn't it? Ticket prices for Mars are 250,000. Yeah, good. Khadija, banging on that you are bored. Well, it's a bit rude, isn't it? To just shout out in the middle of a lesson that you're bored. I don't think you would do that in class, would you? So what I'd like you to do, I want you to do a little investigation. Ayub thinks Russia is the best. Unfortunately, that's not true. Even little old Britain is more powerful and richer than Russia. No aliens, not yet, but there probably are aliens, most likely. Mathematically, it's very, very likely. What I would like you to do then, as a little bit of English, I would like you to do a little bit of research yourself into Mars. I want to know about Mars. We're going to look at Mars a little bit more tomorrow. And I want to know about the planet. And I'd like, obviously, it's going to be, what is it, a fiction or non-fiction? What's the difference between fiction and non-fiction? Can you tell me in the chat? What's the difference between fiction and non-fiction? What is the difference between fiction and non-fiction? What do you think? Can anyone tell me, explain to me in the chat? People should be writing this now. I have no question about space. That's fine, but you're not meant to be doing that. You're meant to be telling me what's the difference between fiction and non-fiction. That's what I would like to write. Non-fiction is real. Can you explain that a little bit more to me? What do you mean by that? No, there's no Area 51 on the moon, Yusuf. Fiction is fake. Be careful with that word, fake. Yeah, I guess you kind of got the idea, haven't you? Fiction being fantasy. A fiction story is something that is created in the human brain, okay? Stories that have been created by humans. Stories that aren't necessarily totally real. A non-fiction book has verifiable facts, okay? A verifiable fact means it's something that can be proved to be right or wrong. A fact, of course, is something that can be proved to be right or wrong. So I could say that this is red. That would be a fact, wouldn't it? If I said this is red, that is a fact, and I can prove that that's right. I can look at the way that light is being reflected and bouncing off it. I can measure the light waves, and I can prove that this is red. If I said that red is the most amazing color, well, I can't prove that red is the most amazing color. So that is a kind of, well, it's an opinion, but a non-fiction book would only have facts, things that can be proved to be right. So you're going to make me a non-fiction piece, and I want to know about the Mars, okay? And in it, I'd like it to be laid out as a kind of information piece. So I'm obviously going to have a title at the top of my work. Remember, the title is what it is all about. Your work is going to have 3 subheadings. Okay, so I want it to be split into 3 sections. Remember, subheadings break down your piece of work. So what sort of things could we talk about when it comes to Mars? Well, I could have maybe a whole section about the different planets to give me an idea about Mars. I could have about Mars's atmosphere. I could do about Mars's, have one about the poles. What are the poles? Well, the north and south points of Mars, there's actually frozen ice on it. Okay, so you could tell me all about the frozen ice. You could have a whole section about alien life, couldn't you? You could tell me about, is there any life or was there any life? You could tell me about water on Mars. You could tell me about missions to Mars. You could tell me about the future of Mars, but you only need to pick 3, okay? You need to have a picture. You could draw this picture, or if you're doing it on Word, you could download the picture. You need to have 1 or 2 pictures. A non-fiction information piece has to have pictures, doesn't it? That is what makes non-fiction really good. It helps people to understand. Your picture is going to have a caption. Okay? So next to your picture, I want some kind of caption. The caption explains what the picture is. So if I've got a picture, the caption next to it will tell me what the picture is. Yeah? Good question, Ava. We will discuss that in a while. What are we discussing in a while? Do I need to go and look back? Good. So, what else was I going to say? I don't even know now. I've gone distracted. I started reading your things. So yeah, I'd like a title, 3 subheadings, picture, a little caption for the picture, and you're going to tell me as much about Mars as possible. And then tomorrow, we're going to look in more detail at Mars. We'll try and also tomorrow fit a little bit of maths into it. Like a frog stand on a lily pad, that's non-fiction. If you have a dream and you write it, is fiction or non-fiction? That's a really good question. So a dream did happen, didn't it? Yeah, you can't deny that the dream did happen. But the things in the dream, well, they are creations of the human brain. And remember, I said that a fiction book is something that has been created in the human mind. So a dream is still fiction. It's not real, it didn't happen. Well, it did happen in your mind. It didn't happen in the real world. So we've got to be careful about this. There's a lot of people who say, well, they believe things to be true, so they must be facts because they're true in your mind. That's not really what a fact is. A fact is something that can be verified over and over again, okay? If I took a science book, yeah? A science book about plants, for example, and I destroyed every single book about plants on Earth. I destroyed it all. I destroyed every website about books. I destroyed about plants. Every piece of information about plants, we destroyed, okay? It would all be written back exactly the same because all the things about it can be verified. Yeah. Now, if I went around and I destroyed every, let's say, religious book, or if I went around and destroyed every book about wizards or every book about I don't know, anything that's been made up, they would never be written exactly the same because they've come from the human mind. So you couldn't, if I destroyed all of Harry Potter everywhere in the world and I asked for it to be rewritten, it would be changed because it's all come from the human mind. It's not verified. But yeah, everything about plants gets destroyed. It would be rewritten the same because it's all true. It can be verified by everybody. All right. So imagine this planet was destroyed, okay? And everything we had was wiped out. And in 1 million years, another animal evolved and became as smart as humans. All the science books that we have already written would be written again by that smart species. They wouldn't change. Science is not something that relates just to humans. It's true no matter what. 2 + 2 is 4, whether you're here on Earth or there on Jupiter or in a different distant galaxy far, far away. That is a true fact, yeah? If you had through 2 sticks and put another 2 sticks, you'd end up with 4 sticks. The words, the language might be different, but the truth behind it would always be the same. If that kind of makes sense. Somebody saying there are no aliens. Well, there are no aliens yet. Okay, that doesn't mean that there won't be aliens. Mathematically, it is likely that there are aliens. It would be very unusual for us to be the only life on, in the universe, because if you think about the size of the universe, then it's very likely that there are aliens somewhere else. Scientists have already found suns that have planets circling around at the same distance as Earth, with planets that have the same content of water, that have oxygen. So it is likely that there is life somewhere else. Very likely. In fact, the life on this Earth may have come from somewhere else. Okay? When an asteroid or a meteor hit this planet, it may have brought with it early life, which might have come from elsewhere or some other place. So it is quite possible that there is life elsewhere. Ava asked why there is a problem with the word fake. Why is there a problem with the word fake? We use fake a lot now, don't we, for anything that people disagree with. And we've got to be very careful with the word fake and fake news. I wouldn't say a story is necessarily fake. That is a really good one. I tell you what, can I think about how to answer that, Ava? And can I come back with a full answer tomorrow? And I think Miss Duncan will help me. I'm very worried with the word fake and the way we use it to deny anything. So let me come back to you, Ava, with that, because I'm running out of time now. Remind me tomorrow, and that is tomorrow's question. Miss Duncan, you'll help me to answer that one as well, I'm sure. I have a bellyache. Oh no, Abdi Saeed. That is really sad. Okay, tardigrades. Dawood Islam has just mentioned tardigrades. Dawood, maybe you could do a little work on tardigrades for me, and you could bring in that research. Tardigrades are the most fascinating little creatures. They can actually survive in space. Yeah, they are amazing. I'll tell you what, if Dawood does the work on that and sends it to me, maybe I can show you all the work that he's done. We are now running out of time. Yes, Miss Duncan's going to help me answer that question, which is really good. It is now time for your small groups. You'll have been called. I've called a lot of people in 3J this morning. I know 3C have been called or spoken to. 3D have been as well. Aminal Gurney, I like ice cream too. It's so great, right? So yeah, if you want to go off to your groups, go and check it on Google Classroom. If you've not got a group today, then can you go and do your work? That's it. Can you go and do your work? Yeah, you've got Mrs. C, you've got maths, you've got all of those things. You're doing your reading. That's great if you're coming into reading. Mr. Jordan, why does gravity make stuff fall, not gravity make stuff float? Great one. I love that question. So because it's the end and I haven't got time to answer it, you go do the research, come back to me. Yeah, find out about gravity, find out who Isaac Newton was, see if you can understand the effect that gravity has from mass. Okay, all mass has gravity. You go and find out about that. Who is that? Mohammed Mood. Good. Is that you who asked that question? No, it was Roxana Afzal. Get the research, come back to me. I'm going somewhere. Yeah, off you go, guys. You need to go to your group. 3P does not have any groups this week because Miss Patson is teaching year 3 this week. So she can't do the groups because she's got the year 3 group. No groups for 3P. Next week, there'll be no groups for 3J because I'm off teaching year 6. In fact, there'll be no groups for 3C next week either because Miss is doing year 3. Okay, right, guys, off you go. Go do your groups, go do your work. Can't wait to see it. Make sure you're registered on Google Classroom. I can't hang around for questions. I need to go and do my group. I have not yet set up reading groups yet. Unless you have been phoned, you will not be in a reading group today. Okay, so you have to be phoned in the morning for the reading group. If you haven't got a phone call, you haven't got it today. You will get it at some point. Don't you worry. Bye, guys. I'm off.